Hello, Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. I wanted to touch on the topic of unconditional love and just share some of my personal experiences with unconditional love, at least what I label for my personal experience as unconditional love. I think rolling back the clock around January 2013 and before, I was listening to Abraham-Hicks and Paul Lowell and just anything and everything I could get my hands on as far as philosophy and theology, and Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, pretty much any type of, something that was a little higher vibration. And right around January of 2013 was right around the time, and I wasn't listening to Bashar at this point in time, it was right around after, the equinox of 2012, where the gloves are off and a lot of the things that were the vibrations to keep us more in a neutral type of vibration were lifted heavily, come to find out. So I was taking a shower, doing something and transitioning, and I was taking a moment to relax and forgive any noise outside. We'll take a moment and let that pass. There was a moment when I was sitting and meditating, just emptied my mind, and I was listening to something that was going to the now time, just be here now, and I was practicing just being present in every moment and feeling and touching and tasting and just being in that moment, and that's the only moment, because it is the only moment. Other videos on that. And I experienced something so beautiful, so epic, such a large energy, just a glimpse of it, that it scared the crap out of me. I'm like, whoa, and I came out of it and I'm like, for a while I was like, what was that? I have a heart attack, or is there something going on here? So all that checks out, it's all good. So, I started exploring that idea more, and the more I tried to do it and duplicate it, the more elusive it was, FYI. It has to be organic, it has to be in your highest joy, you have to be following your highest joy for this to kind of self-realize itself. So as time went on, I really hadn't experienced anything that I could recall until I had come across a video that had a small snippet of Bashar in it, maybe like 20 seconds or something. I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And then it was said that he was presenting himself as an extraterrestrial, channeling through one of his simultaneous selves. He said past selves at the time, but it is a simultaneous self, since there is only one moment, there is only the now. And I started listening to some of his stuff, and he's talking about oversoul and this concept and that concept, prime radiant, and all these different types of concepts. And for 30 days I'm going through all this information, and in that stream, I don't exactly remember dates. The volume kind of turned up a couple times where it was, the one moment was a lot more solid, and there was nothing but that moment, and a feeling that is just, you can only really describe it as unconditional love. And Bashar has been saying that this is only a glimmer, a glimpse of a fourth density state of unconditional love, and that feeling is just like the tiniest little fragment. I think in previous videos he was saying that he only gives 1% of his energy. This was a while ago. I don't know what year that was. I'm sure that might be a little different now. But if that's just, let's just label that 1% for an example of 100% of unconditional love. It is utterly unimaginable what a fourth density, a true fourth density state is, what the YahYel experience and the karaoke of the Pleiadian and Bashar civilization. Oh, I mean, just imagine, going from a fifth to sixth density state. So I kept exploring that, and then I'm seeing follow your highest excitement, and the human brain, the ego is kind of fighting with that. So a lot of ego negotiation that goes on there. And then I had come across Adronis of Sirius, and he is channeled by Brad Johnson. And there was, and I don't remember, it's not coming through, so it's not relevant at this point in time. There was a particular, it wasn't a meditation, but it was more of a channeling information. It was the, I recall now. It was the tellings of Lyra. It was the Lyran the Telling of Eden and the Lyran series, or the Lyran, was one of the wars, and the first planet that was seeded for human life, to be the template for this galaxy and for all galaxies, from what he was saying. And he channeled a being that was supposed to be a founder, one of the founders, that had come through another dimensional gate from another galaxy. And he was labeled as D, the entity known as D. They don't physically reside in this galaxy anymore. They have gone somewhere else because some kind of conflict. There's a lot of history, a lot of things going on, and it's such an epic amount of information that it is sometimes hard to even retain all that. It's I think there's a lot of people that have that, like Brad Johnson, is really good, or have a session with Adronis directly, because you can do that. Hey, you can talk to extraterrestrials. Who knew? In any case, during this process, there was a wave of unconditional love that came through that I actually had to go sit down in my bed and breathe the deepest breaths, because it wasn't like the diamond light body and the light body redeveloping itself after all this entropy for these thousands of millennia that we've been doing this, or millennia upon millennia that we've been doing this. To be able to experience a third density state and forget that we're an infinite creation, and forget we are made of light and love, and that we are unconditional love. This is a rare experience in creation. So if any of that is interesting, and unconditional love comes back and forth, I will say definitely, if you follow your highest excitement, that thread turns up the volume quite a bit. And unconditional love, let's say somebody was in a storage facility, and I was going down to my storage unit, and I was walking up from the front. I was just going to grab something, it's easier, and they were coming up, and I punched in my gate code to let them out, and they said thank you, and a little wave of unconditional love. So it was really oddly very random, and it was following my excitement. That was the most exciting thing I could do, is open the gate for them, and like Gandhi's concept of beginning kindness, and Viktor Frankl, just because harm has been done to you, even with the epic things that was done to him in the concentration camps, he had cited examples and demonstrated examples, like just because harm has been done to you doesn't mean or give you the right to do harm to others. You just perpetuate that same cycle, and an eye for an eye, and all that, and the whole world is blind. Mixing Gandhi and Viktor Frankl together, sorry about that, but if any of those are of interest, examine that line of energy and check them out. So there's more information on the foundation. I will say that when I don't follow my highest excitement, definitely fades away, and it gets a lot more elusive. I understand that in this particular energy state now that we're in, that it's a lot more, I wouldn't say a lot more difficult, but it's a lot more, it's like Bashar has described it as being on the razor's edge. If you do something out of alignment with your true nature, holistic self, the full being that you are, off into 3D reality, basically. And you follow the 4D line of energy, excitement, 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 into the thread, into more excitement, into more unconditional love possibilities, because there are an infinite amount of parallel dimensions happening simultaneously, since there is only one moment, and you can experience whichever ones of those you want, but it's generally guided by your highest excitement. And having concentration and meditation for 15 minutes at a time, and generally no longer, helps define those parallel realities and make it a lot easier to track onto those parallel realities. But it should be all organic. If you're going, I'm going to experience unconditional love, or if you're upset that I've experienced it, or other people have cited that they've experienced it, you're pushing it away. It's paradox. At the point of paradox and neutrality is infinite reality. Every second, billions of times a second, you are creating a big bang in your galaxy, and you're making billions of galaxies in that second, and each one is representative of your energy state. So you can kind of glide along the parallel path that you want. We're becoming molecularly less glued, if you want to call it that, to 3D reality, to physicality. We're becoming more non-physical. We're at the beginning stages of that, just the very beginning stages of that. Sorry about the laptop coming on and off. So I think that that feels like everything that I needed to share for this video. I try to keep them short for a couple of minutes, and they end up being 10 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. You know, the messages are down. If you like this video, please like it. Sorry, I had some spicy chips earlier. Please feel free to send me a message. Check out the foundation. Subscribe if you like, or if you feel this video is interesting. If you want some of the videos that I'm cited in this, email me and I'll happy to send you those. Take care. Love and light.